Our lesson today is on the history of the prophets. Throughout the Old Testament, you will read the stories of them, and in the Gospels, you will hear repeated references to the murder of the prophets and agents. But, you ask, wasn't Elijah the prophet taken bodily into heaven on a chariot of fire with horses of fire, and into a whirlwind assumed bodily into heaven? And the only other human so assumed was the Blessed Virgin. 2 Kings 2, 3-9. Yes, and Elisha, the one chosen by Elijah to carry his prophetic call, was so witness to this event and wrote and spoke of it. But all of the other prophets were killed for speaking the holy words of God. They were feared for their gift, and the men who have human power but not real power hate feeling weak, which is how they characterize the feeling of fear as being weak versus just not being fully informed or not fully understand, as those with true power know it is. For it was never the king who wished the prophet dead. Royalty took the information from God and used it to rule wisely, or poorly, as the case may be. But the kings used the God word to run their armies against the foes. If they heeded the prophetic message, they defeated their foes. If they violated the message or didn't understand it, they were not alive to feel the failure of their death, and their army's defeat was inevitably one of the effects. The understudies always killed the prophets. These are the same classes of people who would later become Pharisees and scribes, employed by nobility and royals as the highest of aides, highest priests, etc. They only have power in the shade of their benefactors. Thus, a prophet who prophesies that the benefactor must act thusly or will suffer a downfall is not very long-lived prophet around such aides. They falsely believed that by ending the prophet, they ended the prophecy. But that makes as much sense as in the ancient Greek times to murder a messenger for simply carrying a message of bad news, or in this age, to kill or blame a meteorologist to change the weather. The one who delivers the information is not responsible for the import of the message. Thus, killing or harming them has no effect on the future's events related by that message. But despite this, they still killed the prophets, and still the message results came to pass, for nothing was ever done to prevent them. They never did what the prophet prophesied. They never followed the message to prevent what was to become. Blame not the messenger, but prepare ye for the events foretold.